There's a huge problem with the sea wings underwater language, which is aquatic, and quite frankly, it, it shakes me to my core. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. The problem is that it makes no sense. It makes zero sense at all. How do the sea wings communicate by lighting up their scales? I mean, on the surface, it seems pretty logical, right? Just light up a certain pattern that corresponds to a word or phrase, and then boom, simple. That's communication right there. But if you think a little bit more, how is the dragon that you're communicating with supposed to see the whole pattern? I don't know if in the books the language isn't explained well enough, or if this is a huge oversight, but you can only look at a dragon from a specific angle, and there are bioluminescent scales all over the seawing body, and therefore all those scales are being used, and meaning that there are going to be patterns across it for all the words and phrases. And you can't see the whole pattern because you can't see around the whole body. That's not how perception works. It's like you're talking and saying the words, but half the letters are missing, and that would definitely be a little bit inconvenient for communication. The only way they would know is by swimming around you and getting a good look at your whole body, and maybe this is just me, but I don't think that seems very practical. Now, one explanation for how this works could be that the patterns are symmetrical on this viewing body, so if one scale lights up on one side, the same would happen on the other side. Except, as far as I know, that was never explicitly said in the books. Maybe I'm missing something, that's entirely possible, but I'm pretty sure that nothing was said about that. So I'm going to be making the assumption that they are not symmetrical until the books or Tui herself says if they are or not. Honestly, I think that just saying symmetrical would be the perfect solution to this. I mean, it's so easy. Just say that it's symmetrical, and I don't think it interfere with anything from the previous books. It's not like in the books they communicated in a very specific way where it really needed to be described which scales were lit up. That wasn't the case in the books. They kind of just talk, and that's it. So it could be symmetrical for all we know. It's never been said before, and I don't think that we should automatically go to that instead of it being not symmetrical. But since that's not the case right now, my point still stands. It could also be argued that the sea wings just adjust which scales on their body they light up so that the patterns are in sight of the dragon they're communicating with, but that seems pretty unlikely to me because, once again, it wasn't said explicitly in the books, and it also just seems like a lot of thinking if you want to communicate efficiently. It's still possible that that's the case and that it just wasn't mentioned, but I feel like that maybe this is just me, but I feel like that might be something worth mentioning. But yeah, aquatic is kind of ridiculous, honestly. I don't know how it's supposed to work realistically, and I know I'm being really nitpicky here, but this is just something that really bugged me because based on what we know so far about the language, it kind of defies the laws of perception. However, it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't hurt the story in any way. In fact, aquatic is actually essential for it because it would be even more ridiculous if the sea wings just talked normally underwater. I just feel that aquatic could have just been explained a little bit better. So feel free to leave a comment if you can debunk any of my criticisms, because I really, I would love to be wrong about this. And so anyways, that was my TED Talk, and thanks for watching.